Hey VC, Jeff here. So I wanted to do a quick video today. It is Saturday, and today I mentioned in the video the other day, my son is getting married. Today's the wedding, and actually I've got about 2 hours to get showered and get ready. But I want to go ahead and do this quick video because everything's kind of quiet now as we are getting ready. The kids are all over, getting prepared in other places. And so anyway, wife and I are here, and we're just kind of chilling out for a little bit until we get ready to go over. So I wanted to do this quick video. Again, this is similar to one that I showed a couple videos ago where I went in for the one and came out with the mini. This is another one of those, I guess I went a little crazy again. Not crazy, but did another order on Discogs. Basically, I went out looking for one particular album, again, and I came away with a few. And in this case, I took a chance to a degree. So what I did is I went online, I was looking for this. I've shown the War of Ages band, one of my favorite modern metalcore bands. And there's only actually one other. I wanted to grab this. This popped up. It was a great price. You can see it's got a different thing. The reason was he marked it down because it has a seam split on the top. And I guess it's got a little crinkle there. Again, things that I'm not too worried about. So I saw this at a great price, and then it said, hey, this guy also has a few items that are also on your want list. So I started looking, and then I found some other items on his list that I'm like, I'm familiar with that band. These are great prices. This guy was selling a lot of good stuff for a lot of decent money. I thought, well, this might be some time to take a chance. But anyway, before I go into there, this was, again, this is what I went after, and I grabbed this. And like I say, I've got one out of the 7 or 8 War of Ages that are on vinyl. I think there's only one left that I'm missing, and now the first album was only on CD, so that one hasn't been on vinyl. But anyway, so that's cool. Again, looking to complete that collection. So as I'm looking through his stuff, there were some other bands, and I'm like, well, I'm familiar with these bands. He didn't have a whole lot for sale, which is always nicer on Discogs when you go to somebody who's selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of records, thousands of records. Then it's, you're looking through somebody's store. In this case, he had, a smaller handful. I was able to look through most everything he had, and I thought, wow, there's some stuff on here that I am familiar with, just don't know a ton of information about. So I took a chance with this particular band. So, real brief story. I had somebody somewhere along the line, I had acquired a copy digitally of one of this band's releases. It was their 2009 release. Now, I don't recall. I know I probably gave it a quick listen. I don't remember much about it. I might have got it in a bunch of music at some time. I might have, bought a lot. I might have been passed a lot, traded a lot. I don't know, but somehow I got it, and I don't recall really ever giving it much attention. And so I thought, well, let me check this out because they're listed, as a style of music that I kind of like. And I remember the album being not bad. I just don't remember much about it. So I went online and before I made this order and started looking at their stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little different than I remember. And I was really digging what I was hearing. So I thought, yeah, I mean, this guy is selling these 1 and 2 record sets for real good money, real good prices. Inexpensive. And so I went ahead and bought some, and that's what we're going to show today. So the band is called Forsaken. How many people are aware of this band? This is their this is actually their latest, their 2017 album, Pentateuch. Now, they are a doom metal band, and I just was like, okay, again, as I've mentioned before, doom metal can be all over the place. You can have doom death, you can have ambient doom, you can have all kinds of vocal strange patterns. I'm more of a earlier doom, the trouble years, the stuff with somewhat understandable vocals, melodic, and just, grungy sounding guitars. And that's what I was hearing on here. Now, again, the album I had by them was another one I'm going to show, but it was an earlier release. I look back at the band's catalog and I'm like, wow, they've been doing stuff since, into the early 90s, but they've only had a handful of albums out. And so they had like, a 7-inch in the early 90s, and then they came out, in 96 with an album, and then an EP, and then, since 2000, they've released like 5 albums. So, you know, in 21 years or so. This is their latest. And now the other thing that, of course, kind of caught my attention was how they've got a lot of, you know, Pentateuch is, you know, the first 5 books of the Bible. It's a lot of biblical type references. And so, you know, not knowing their background there, but okay, so the band is from Malta. Now, Malta is a little island off of, you know, south of Italy. Not a whole, you know, it's kind of neat when you think about it. There's only like 500,000 people on the island. It's like a small little place. And here's this doom metal band that sounds really good. And like I say, lyrically, there's a lot. The titles, the song titles, you know, this, of course, you know, Pentateuch is going to have all that. But they have a lot of song titles, apocryphal books, things like that. Just the kind of stuff that you would find on either side of the fence when it comes to the spiritual lyrics versus, you know, bands that might sing on the darker side. You know, so you never know how to take it. But you've got, you know, just the imagery and the titles. Let me show you this. This is the one that I had digitally. I believe that one was one that was just on black there. This is After the Fall, and I had this one digitally. This is a double record set with one on white and one on red. And so again, you've got, you know, Sins of the Tempter, the Sage, the Lord Saveth. So you've got, you know, all of these via the way of the cross. So you've got all that. Now I know, you know, especially when you start looking into some of the, you know, like you kind of get the impression with some countries, like, you know, you would expect that a lot of people, like in the Mexican region, down in South America, are going to have a Roman Catholic background. So there's a lot of that comes out of that, whether they're a Christian band or not. It doesn't matter. They have that influence, and so that comes across in the sound and in the songs. And even if they're not going, you know, to be a spiritual band, you know, it comes across. So you never know how it pulls out. But I just noticed there's a lot of that in here, which is really cool, the way that they play off of this. Now, they also had one on here. Was it on here, or was it just on the digital? Metatron and the Mybor Mythos. Now that kind of caught my eye because Metatron is from some of the apocryphal books, actually the pseudepigraphal books, which are other writings that were not part of the canon of Scripture, but they were other writings of a nature of a spiritual, telling stories. There's a lot of that. I'm into a lot of that. I read a lot of that. I've spoken on a lot of that at conferences, and so that kind of struck me because not a ton of people tend to read into that who are, you know, and then write songs about it, but. I had mentioned another band, Attacker, that had some of that in one of their albums, which was really impressive. So, and then their other album, this is the 2005. So I got the latest 3 from this band, 2005, 2009, 2017. You see a big gap there. They do have 3 other albums, 2004, 2002, and 1996, which I believe at least 2 of them may be on vinyl. Maybe all 3, maybe 2. I don't know. One of them is an EP. Dominaeon. But yeah, so anyway, I got these a couple days ago, and I've listened to all of them at least once, and in some cases more. This is on blue. I think they're both blue. Oh, the other thing nice about this particular guy who I bought these from, everything came in MoFi sleeves, so took good care of his records and put them in MoFi sleeves. I've been listening to these, and yeah, this is the kind of doom that I like. It's not real. You know, vocally, it's great. It's great stuff. So anyway, if you haven't checked out Forsaken, check them out. I just can't believe they've been around this long, since the early '90s, on and off. You know, they've only put out a few things, but I just can't believe I haven't really learned much about them. So now I know more. I have 3. Of course, that means I'm going to be on a journey to try to find the older ones. Most of them have been, the ones that are on vinyl tend to have been released on vinyl more recently in the past maybe 10 years. Maybe they won't be as hard to find, but because they are an overseas band, I'm pretty sure most of these come from overseas. And I don't know that this particular seller was selling them for a really good price. I'm just like, this is worth taking a chance on. And I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised because yes, I am really digging this. This is my kind of doom metal. Anyway, check them out. Have you heard of them? Have you not? What are your thoughts? Do you ever take a chance like that? I mean, you know, on maybe spending a little money, because they were, you know, they were under $20, but they were still in that range. It wasn't like I bought them for $5. So, you ever do that? You ever think, you know, I think I might like this, and grab it? And do you do the whole Discogs stuff when you buy online? I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people don't like Discogs, but if you buy from Discogs, do you always look to see what else they have? Maybe save a little shipping. Tends to be my habit. So anyway, I will be back. Thanks a lot for watching, and I got a little bit longer now. I got to get ready for this wedding. Thanks for watching. Rock on and rock hard.